Okay, so while you are receiving the email, you will have here a link in your mailbox that you can click on to get the free study tool. You will directly arrive here on just a few instructions. We'll go over them during this video. So you can click on the tool that you are here, that you have everything here. What I recommend you to do is to make a copy, because you won't be able to use this one directly. You make a copy on your account that you can name as you want. My first free study, let's say. Here you go. And then you can start the study. So I suggest you either to get this video next to you when you are doing the study by making pauses, or you will find all the information directly here in the step-by-step guide that will go through during this video. So first thing to do and first thing to have for the study is to have a dataset that is composed of a certain number of files. We recommend to use a sufficiently big dataset so that you can have metrics that will be usable. If the dataset is too small, each document has an impact on the performances that is way too big to get accurate performances. So what you'll need is a CSV containing the information from provider 1, here let's say Mindee, the exact same prediction but for provider 2, another OCR provider, and the file with the ground truth, which is the value actually present in the document, so the expected value considered as a correct answer. And using the free study tool, we'll be able to compare Mindee versus the ground truth, the provider 2 versus the ground truth, and then say that accuracy, precision, and all the metrics that we'll compute here for Mindee are compared with the exact same metrics, but for provider 2. So here we go. Let's start. So if we have a look here at the instructions, the first step is to rename the tabs and to tick the validate renaming tick box after it's done. So I will go ahead and modify the first tab here. So you can either double click or do rename. So provider 1, we say it's Mindee for this study. Provider 2, we don't have a particular name, so let's call them provider 2. And the ground truth, there's no need to change that. So here you go. You go back to instructions. You validate the renaming for both. And as you can see, if you've done it properly, it should become red. Yeah. It should become green, sorry. So when it's done, you can click on this one. Those tick boxes, that's just for you to be sure that you don't forget anything. It doesn't break things in the table, but yeah. So you got the prediction here. So yeah, let's go with the predictions. So prediction for Mindee. You go there. So again, we say Mindee, it's provider 1 by default. Here you go. We have the values, so you can open the CSV with a text file editor. That's what I recommend you. You go to CSV cleaning tab so that you are sure that you're not breaking anything in the rest of the table. when you copy and paste the file, the CSV, it will pretty much always be like this. So what you can do is select column A, click on data, split text to columns. Most of the time it will detect automatically the separator, but you can change it here. So for me it was a comma, and here you go. You got your first table here. You can copy it and paste it into Mindee, because that's what this CSV was all about. And then we can go back to the instruction. For each column, select the proper format. So that means that for the invoice date, for example, we'll be sure that it is formatted as a date by Google Sheet here. Then same thing for invoice number and supplier names, that should be plain text fields, and the total amount, that is an amount or number field. And you're good to go for the Mindee part. We'll do the exact same thing for ground truth and provider 2. So we use the cleaning tab again, provider 2, open with text edit file. All the data that you are seeing here is fake data that is used for demo purpose. It will just allow you make the study. So you get the prediction for this one. Here use the comma as a separator. Once you're done, you put everything in the provider 2 table, and same thing, you rename the fields. So for the format of the date of invoice, you will select a date, invoice number and seller name, you select plain text, amount text, it will be an amount. And as you can see, it doesn't matter if the names of the columns are not the same with what you had in Mindee column. The model, the table is able to manage that kind of difference. So no big deal here. Same thing if they are not in the same order. So you shouldn't worry about this. I will show you how to manage that part in the coming minutes. We'll do the same for the ground truth, and then we will be good to go. So ground truth, again, we open the file, we copy and paste, put everything in CSV cleaning. We select column A, split text to column. Be sure that you use the proper separator. As you can see here, for example, we have a useless information for the study part. We can keep it here, it doesn't matter. We just don't focus too much on this one. The date here appears to be a bit different, which is the reason why it's really important to always select the format, so that you're sure that you're manipulating data with the same format each time. And then you put everything here in ground truth. It should be good to go. We can remove the data from the cleaning tab, no big deal. We did the steps for the ground truth and the provider, and we are sure that the formats are consistent, so that should be okay. Then we go to the recap per field tab here. So as you can see here, you will have a lot of error messages at the beginning. That's normal, because it tells you to pick a valid column from the drop-down menu. So here you should select the first field. So we'll do them in the order of the file. So the first thing is invoice date. So here at the top of the page, be sure to rename the field. You put the name that you prefer. It will be the name displayed in the table when you mention something about invoice date. So let's call it invoice date, and press enter. For the the other ones. We'll do the same thing. So for the Mindee table, it's called invoice date. For the ground truth, it was ANN_inv date. The names are different, but as you can see, you are able to select the proper name, and then the model behind will compute everything for you. So as you can see, you got ones where the prediction from Mindee is correct, and here, since for provider 2 there's no prediction made and the value was something here, the value expected, that's wrong. Same thing here, so that's why we have a 0. We'll be able to compare each document by doing that. We go to field number 2, invoice number. You select invoice number for the 3 fields, rename the field invoice number, and then company name, let's say supply name, and then the amount, total amount. So sometimes you can see that things can happen like this where the format is not okay. It selected the date format here for no reason. No big deal. You can just select the columns and ask for a number, and it will be displayed properly. Total amount, let's say here. And then you can click on the fact that those 4 fields are mandatory for the automation, but let's say that maybe for this case invoice number is not mandatory for the automation. So we are good with this part. Let's go back to the instructions. So we did choose a field name, select the name of the field in the ground truth table, select the name of the field. So in the 3 different tabs we did the job, and then you check that the 0 and 1 comparison appear to be correct. It looks like it's working here. We got ones where it's correct and zeros when it's not. So yeah, these steps appear to be okay. If you have any particular need because the exact match that we are doing here is not working properly in your use case, you want to do something more complex with a Levenstein distance, regex validation, or anything else, be sure to contact us directly at contact@mindee.co so that we can help you with that. Then what we always recommend to do is to go to few steps where you see that maybe both prediction, here for example you got 2 different solutions that predicted something and there is no ground truth. That's really unlikely that those 2 providers invented a value. So maybe you should check the document here, invoice 1463, because maybe there's an error in the ground truth here that you should modify. If that's the case, you can directly go to ground truth and modify the value so that it updates the table. And then you can go to performance metrics, and as you can see, everything will be computed. You got the recall for Mindee and provider 2. Those metrics here, of course, since it's fake data for everything, for the prediction, for the ground truth, they don't mean anything. They are just random numbers here, but everything has been computed from the recap per field table that we just filled in. So you got recall, precision, accuracy, and F1 score, with each time the delta between solution 1 and solution 2. It will be positive when solution 1 is better, and negative when solution 2 is better. you get few information here. If you need data about the confusion matrix, you will have the true positive, the false positive, and everything. And yeah, that's it for here. You also have an extra tab here for the automated documents. So as we already said, we selected 3 fields in the recapper field that are date of the invoice. We didn't select the invoice number, supplier name, and total amount. So we have 3 different mandatory fields, and here you will have the automation rates, which mean that here, for example, for Mindee, we have 76% of the documents where all those 3 fields were correctly read. That means that this document potentially could have been automated with no need for a human being to do an extra check. So that's a lot of time gain here on this use case. Again, thanks for using the free study tool. Don't hesitate to contact us if you have any issue using that or interpreting the results, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.